They thought they could silence her. Corrupt cops bribed a judge to frame an innocent black woman, dragging her into court like a criminal. But what they didn't know was that this woman wasn't just a victim. She was their new boss, and, the moment she revealed it, the courtroom froze. Dr. Vanessa Harris was a brilliant lawyer, respected civil rights advocate, and beloved community leader. She had spent her life defending those who couldn't defend themselves, but her work earned her enemies. In a small city dominated by corruption, some police officers saw her as a threat. She uncovered misconduct, exposed cover-ups, and fought against abuse of power. So the corrupt officers hatched a plan. If they couldn't silence Vanessa with intimidation, they'd destroy her reputation. They fabricated charges. False evidence mysteriously appeared. Witnesses were bribed. And worst of all, they slipped envelopes of cash to a judge who was all too willing to play along. One evening, Vanessa was pulled over without cause. Within minutes, she was in handcuffs. Her crime, fraud, theft, obstruction of justice, all lies, carefully arranged. As word spread, whispers began. Maybe she wasn't so clean after all. The cops smirked. The judge looked confident. Their trap was working, or so they thought. The morning of her court appearance, the courthouse buzzed. Reporters gathered. Officers strutted through the halls, like victors before a trophy ceremony. Vanessa walked in wearing a simple navy suit. Calm, collected. No tears, no panic. She carried herself with quiet power. "Defendant, rise," the judge ordered, smirking. Vanessa rose. The prosecutor, practically shaking with glee, laid out the fabricated evidence. "Your Honor, this woman has manipulated the law for years. She must be punished." The corrupt cop sat in the back, arms crossed, smug. They'd finally won. The judge nodded. "The evidence is clear. I find—" But Vanessa raised her hand. "Your Honor, before you continue, I believe there's something you should disclose." The courtroom shifted uneasily. The judge frowned. "And what would that be?" Vanessa smiled faintly. "Conflict of interest, bribery, and fraud is on your part." Gasps filled the room. The judge's face went pale. Vanessa calmly pulled a folder from her bag. She laid it on the defense table. "You see, unlike you, I keep records. Surveillance footage, bank transfers, sworn statements, every bribe, every meeting, every lie, all here," the prosecutor stammered. The judge sweated. The cop shifted uncomfortably, but then came the thunderclap. "Furthermore," Vanessa continued, her voice rising with authority, "this proceeding is null, because as of last week, I was appointed the new district attorney of this county, which means every single one of you answers to me." The room exploded in murmurs. Reporters scribbled furiously. Cameras flashed. The cops who once smirked now froze. Their smugness evaporated. The judge slumped in his chair. One officer whispered, "She's our boss?" Yes, she was. Vanessa didn't stop there. She stood tall, her voice commanding the entire courtroom. "Bailiffs, please escort Judge Thompson into custody. He is under federal investigation for bribery and obstruction of justice." The judge sputtered. "This is outrageous. You can't—" But the bailiffs obeyed. They took his gavel, his robe, and his freedom. Next, Vanessa turned to the officers. "As for you, Sergeant Miller and Officer Kent, I have here sworn testimony linking you to perjury, false arrests, and racketeering. Effective immediately. You're suspended, pending criminal charges." The color drained from their faces. They tried to protest, but their voices cracked under the weight of the evidence. The once smug prosecutor slumped back in his chair, realizing his career was over before it began. And the spectators. They erupted in applause. Years of silent fear turned into a roar of triumph. News of the courtroom shock spread like wildfire. Headlines blazed. "Framed lawyer reveals she's district attorney. Judge arrested in court." The corrupt officers were stripped of their badges. Investigations revealed decades of misconduct. The judge faced prison. Vanessa, once humiliated in handcuffs, was now hailed as a hero. Community members filled the courthouse steps with cheers, flowers, and gratitude. Survivors of past injustices wept openly. "She saved us," they said. When asked how she kept so calm, Vanessa smiled. "Because I knew the truth," she said. "And the truth always wins, no matter how long it takes." This wasn't just about one woman. It was about a system that thought it could silence her, about arrogance that believed power could be bought, about corruption that thought it would never be caught. But Vanessa proved something greater, that sometimes the victim isn't weak. Sometimes the accused holds more power than the accusers. Sometimes the woman in handcuffs is the one writing the future, and when corruption stares down justice, it always blinks first. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another story of justice, power, and redemption. Now let me ask you, if you were Vanessa, would you have revealed your evidence immediately, or waited until the very last moment, like she did? Drop your answers in the comments below. And remember, power built on lies crumbles, but truth never dies.